Alright, so now that we have our widget form displayed, what I want to do next is create the JavaScript Ajax jQuery code to actually submit it to mailer.php. And you can see I moved it up. I moved the widget up by just dragging it back here. Alright, so on the front end, let's do a Control U and make sure that jQuery is loaded. Alright, so localhost JS jQuery, so that looks good. Alright, so we should be all set. Alright, so let's go to our JavaScript folder and then our script file. Now, by default, WordPress uses no conflict mode. So if you're familiar with jQuery, then you probably use this kind of syntax. But where our WordPress site is using no conflict mode, instead of the $, we're going to do lowercase j, uppercase Q. Okay, so jQuery like that, instead of the $. Alright, so what we want to do is make sure the document's ready. Okay, and when it's ready, we want to run a function. Okay, so what I want to do is get the contact form by its ID. Okay, so get form. We'll create a variable called form and set that to jQuery. And we need the ID of the form. I think that it's Ajax contact. I just want to double check. Okay, form ID Ajax contact. Alright, so now we have the form in this form variable. So next, we're going to have a messages div. Alright, so variable form messages is going to equal jQuery. And I believe that it's form messages. Let me just double check that too. Okay, so right here you can see we have a div with the ID of form messages. Alright, so those are our main variables that we need. Okay, so now we're going to create our form handler. Alright, so jQuery form. Okay, so this form is coming from here, which is the whole contact form. Alright, so we're going to say dot submit. So when the form is submitted, we want to run a function which will take an event argument. Alright, now we want to stop the browser. From submitting the form directly. Okay, so we can do that with event dot prevent default. Okay, so this is just stopping the normal submission of the form because we want to grab it in our JavaScript. So in order to use the form data, we need to serialize it. Okay, serialize data. First of all, let's just see if this is working. So when we submit the form, let's just do console log contact form submitted. Alright, so if we go to console in our Chrome tools, let's just reload this and do a send. Alright, what's this? Log is not defined. event.dispatch. And that's happening because I put console/log. Okay, we want to do a console.log. Okay, we'll reload. Alright, so you can see now we have contact form submitted. Okay, so everything's good up to this point. I'm going to keep that console log there. Alright, so now we need to serialize the data. So I'm going to create a new variable and call it form data. And I'm going to set that to jQuery form and then dot serialize. Okay, so that's going to let us basically send our object using Ajax. Okay, so next we'll say submit with Ajax. Okay, so we're going to use the jQuery Ajax method here. So jQuery dot Ajax. Okay, and then inside of here we're going to open some curly braces, and we want the type, which is post. Alright, and we want the URL, which we'll say jQuery form dot attribute action. Okay, so that the URL is going to get it by the form action, which is right here. Okay, so basically it's going to the mailer.php file. Alright, so let's see, after the URL we want to send the data. So data is going to be form data. Alright. Okay, so after it submits, let's get rid of the semicolon, and we're just going to chain on this done, which is going to run when it's done, obviously. So I'm going to run a function with a response. Okay, so response. Now I want to make sure that the message has the success class and not the error class. Make sure. Okay, so we can do that with jQuery form. Actually, no, form messages. Remove class error. And then we're going to just add class success. Alright, and then we just want to set the message. Form messages dot text response. Alright. Now after that I want to clear the form fields. Alright, so I'm going to grab them by field. So jQuery ID name. Okay, we're going to set its value to nothing. Let me just make sure that the form has the correct IDs. Okay, so let's see. Input, ID name, email, and message. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. And we want want to do this for email as well as message. Okay. Now we want to put what we want if it fails. Okay, so let me see. Right here, we're going to say dot fail. And then inside here, we're going to create a function. Okay, we're going to pass in the data. Alright, so basically we want to set the message to have the error class. So we're just going to copy this. And we want to make sure message is error, remove class, success, and add class, error. So let's check and see if we have the response text. Alright, so we're going to say if data dot response text is not equal to nothing, then I'm just going to set form messages dot text, and we want to fill that with the response text. So data dot response text. All right, and then down here we're going to say else. Then let me just grab this and set that to our own text. We'll just say we'll say an error occurred. All right, so that should do it for our jQuery. We want to put a semicolon right here. All right, so let's test it out. It's not going to email the webmaster yet because we have to do that with PHP. But we can check and see if our post goes through. So let's save this and go to mailer.php, and let's just echo out a post variable. Whoop. So let's say echo post name. Okay, so let's save that. I'm going to reload this, and we'll say John Doe something at something.com, say hello, send, and then you can see that it spit out to us John Doe. So it's making the post correctly. It's going to through Ajax, it's going to mailer.php, and it's sending these values. So what we can do is in mailer.php, we'll create an actual contact form script that will actually email, and we'll be able to put in the user's email, name, and message. Okay, so we'll do that next.